All right, so now we're going into cocktail hour, and this is where your family and your bridal party are taking pictures while your guests enjoy some drinks and wait for you guys to come. So as a DJ, my job at this point is to make sure we're directing traffic. I've moved over to my reception setup, and I'm making sure that your guests know that the bar is open, to make sure that they sign the guest books, to make sure that they leave you guys alone as y'all are taking pictures. And really, you can say that in a very nice way, just to make sure the faster you're done with pictures, the faster you're going to come join us for the reception itself. Remember, we've already set up the tone for cocktail and dinner with the music that we've already started playing at recessional. Following that same format I mentioned before, we're slowly increasing the intensity of the music throughout the night. That way, your guests are getting more and more pumped for the dance floor. I love at this point, again, for the music to reflect my couple. This doesn't have to be your regular Frank Sinatra, your crooners. This can be whatever you listen to. In fact, this is a good, what do you like to listen to in the car to just jam? What do you like to listen to with your friends when you were in school? This is when music becomes specifically about you guys. I think the great weddings that differentiate from the good weddings are the ones where the music truly reflects the couple. Again, all your guests know you. All your guests probably listen to similar music, or at least know the kind of music that you listen to. Music changes us, it moves us, and so we want that to actually be what we're playing for cocktail and dinner. Your guests aren't probably focused on the music so much at this point, but it is setting the atmosphere for what we're going to be listening to later on. So 30, 45 minutes, an hour has gone by, however long your photographer needs, and now it's time for our formalities. Those are the introductions, first dance, possibly the father-daughter dance, mother-son dance. We'll get to that. So this is how we go about doing that. At first, I have your guests go ahead and take a seat. If there's assigned seating, typically during cocktail hour, I typically tell your guests to make sure that they find where they're going to be seated prior to dinner. So I ask all your guests to go ahead and have a seat, and then I introduce myself, and I rile them up for you guys. And at this point, we can start our introductions. Now we can do the introductions many different ways, and that's completely up to you, and we'll talk about that during our consultations. We can highlight the parents before we do grand introductions. We can do introductions of the whole bridal party individually. We can do introductions of just the bridesmaids, just the groomsmen, or the bridal party. Or we can skip the bridal party altogether and do introductions of just you guys. There's no wrong way to do this. This is your wedding, and it's really what you're comfortable with. Now, as far as music selection, what I suggest is let's do one grand introduction song for the whole bridal party, and then a separate introduction song for you guys, or you guys can come in at the drop of that song. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on which song that you pick and how the intensity of that song goes. But again, we want that song to be super high energy at this point. So again, everyone's excited. You guys come in, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs., and you guys walk in, everyone's cheering, and this is the perfect time to do the first dance. Everyone's already looking at you guys, they're focused on you, and this is the best time. For the next things to come out of my mouth is, ladies and gentlemen, please stay standing as Mr. and Mrs. join us on the dance floor for their first dance as husband and wife. And then I intro y'all's first dance. You guys go ahead and do y'all's dance. If you want to dance the full 3 minutes, that's great. I always tell my couples on our consultations, hey, during the wedding, if you want to dance the full 3-5 minutes, that's great. If at any point you change your mind, give me a look, give me a nod. Don't make it super obvious, but just give me a nod. I'll fade out, reintroduce you guys, move on to the next thing. I say the same thing about father-daughter dance, mother-son dances, verse and chorus, fade out, reintroduce you guys, move on to the next thing. This is a great time to do father-daughter dance, mother-son dance if you want. If you don't want, this is a great time to do, hey, a welcome, thank you for coming, a prayer if you want to do a prayer for dinner, and then open up dinner. Now you don't have to do the father-daughter dance, mother-son dance immediately back to back after the first dance. You're welcome to. It works out really well that way, but it also works out really well moving that towards the end of dinner right before we open up the dance floor. It really depends on what's best for you. But as far as flow, those are the two that I always suggest to couples. Either do it immediately after the first dance, introductions, first dance, father, daughter, mother, son. And it does feel like it's back to back just a little, but it does leave more room to open dance floor later on. Or we can do it right after dinner, right after toast. We can do father-daughter dance, mother-son dance, and then open up dance floor. Completely up to you guys. Both of them flow really well with each other. Now, like I said before, this is a great time after the first formalities to do a welcome your guests, thank them for coming, and then have somebody either say a prayer for dinner, or I can make an announcement saying dinner will be served shortly. Again, it's however you want the flow of things to be at this time. So that's cocktail hour. And if you like what you've seen, make sure you hit a like and a follow down below. And we'll continue this series into what goes on at dinner, the formalities at dinner, dancing, all the way up to the end of the reception. My name is Bernardo the DJ with Wave Source Media. Peace.